time when events are accelerating and balances are shaking, the conflict ignites again. Iran threatens, Israel prepares, and the world walks on tiptoes. But the most important question is not who will win, but is what we see today is part of the trials that the Prophet, peace be upon him, told us about. Is this upcoming war the beginning of the end? Did the prophecies really speak about this stage? And what should a Muslim do if he found himself in the middle of this fog? In this video, we will not dive into politics, but we will open the door of understanding in the light of prophecy and the light of the Quran. So stay with us. Is the war between Iran and Israel mentioned in the texts? When we see the rising tension between Iran and Israel, some may ask, is this conflict mentioned in the Quran or in the sayings of the Prophet, peace be upon him? The clear answer: no. Neither Iran nor Israel were mentioned by their names in the religious texts. But this doesn't mean the texts are absent from the scene. Rather, the Prophet spoke about great trials that will come from the east. Trials that shake hearts, shake nations, and precede the hours coming. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said in an authentic hadith, the Fitnah is from here, from where the horn of the devil rises. Scholars explain that the east meant Iraq, Persia or old Iran, Khorasan, and the land beyond the river. The name of countries are not the important thing, but the descriptions, trials, disturbances, and bloodshed that doesn't distinguish between oppressor and oppressed. So is what we witness today of conflict and tension one of these trials that the Prophet, peace be upon him, warned about? The closest answer: yes, in meaning, not in name. This is not the end of the war, but it may be part of the series of trials. Sunnahs that repeat in every era, sifting hearts. The hadith about trials in the east. When we reflect on the Prophet's, peace be upon him, hadiths, we find he often pointed to the east as the source of great trials that will afflict the nation. He, peace be upon him, said, "O Allah, bless our Sham, Levant. O Allah, bless our Yemen." They say, "O Messenger of Allah, and what about our Najd?" He said, "From here the horn of the devil rises, and from here come the trials." Scholars explain that Najd here means the east, covering wide areas like Iraq, Persia, Khorasan, and Afghanistan. These are lands that have witnessed and still witness wars, coups, unrest, and sectarian and ideological conflicts. The Prophet, peace be upon him, also said that the Dajjal, the greatest trial humanity has known, will come out of this region, saying that the Dajjal will emerge from Khorasan, followed by people whose faces are like hammered shields. In another hadith, when you see the nation's covenants broken, their trusts lightened, and people like this, and he indicated with his fingers separating between them. These are signs of trials where truth is not known from falsehood, and the honest not known from the liar. Beloved, the East, which was the cradle of knowledge and civilization, has turned, because of injustice and corruption, into a center for successive trials. But the lesson is not the geographic location, but the prophetic warning about waves of chaos that hit the nation from that direction. Is this war a major sign of the hour? With every great war, with every political and military tension, people ask, is this one of the major signs of the hour? Is the end near? And the answer here needs clarity. No. The war between Iran and Israel is not among the major signs of the hour mentioned clearly in the texts. such as the emergence of the Dajjal, the descent of Jesus, peace be upon him, the rising of the sun from the west, the emergence of the beast, the fire that gathers people. But what we see of unrest, wars, trials may be among the precursors or preparation for those signs. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Before the hour there will be trials like patches of dark night." And he mentioned that these trials come in sequence and speed up until good becomes bad and bad becomes good. And if we reflect on what is happening today, we see rapid changes in values, imbalance in justice, and boldness over blood and honor. So is this the sign of the end? Not yet, but these are waves that warn, alert, and awaken the headless hearts. And Allah tests His servant to distinguish the bad from the good and to make firm those whose hearts are attached to the truth. How should a Muslim deal with these trials? In times of trials, a Muslim shouldn't be a tool in the hands of those who ignite it, nor be a fearful person hiding in corners, but be firm, aware, vigilant, and believe that truth is not victorious by noise, but by insight. The Prophet, peace be upon him, advised us when trials intensify to hold back our hands from bloodshed. But he didn't order us to be silent about truth or accept the falsehood. The best jihad is a word of truth before a tyrant ruler. So the sincere word, the honest stance, and the pure advice, all are jihad. But this jihad is not chaos, nor shouting into the void, but by spreading awareness, educating the generation on the correct creed, saying the truth without incitement or agitation, and praying for the oppressed, not against them. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever among you sees a wrong should change it. But the change must be with wisdom, not trial." We are not commanded to be silent, but we are commanded to be firm, balanced, and not dragged by every wave that shouts in the name of religion while it kills it from inside. The reality of the conflict between Iran and Israel. We must be very clear in understanding the reality of what is happening between Iran and Israel. This war or this tension is not a religious war or a conflict over creed. Neither party stems from a sincere concern for religion, nor does either carry a pure spiritual or religious message. Rather, they are purely political conflicts, governed by interests of influence, geographical control, economic resources, and matters of state interest. This political power sometimes exploit the name of religion or religious slogans to justify their position, but in essence they are fighting for their fleeting worldly interests. As for Islam, it's a religion of peace, mercy, justice, and tolerance, and a clear call to support the oppressed, not to aggression, killing, or sedition. And it's not permissible to judge Islam or link it to the action of these parties, because the true religion doesn't bless injustice, nor call for killing in the name of religion. These political trials are a test for us to distinguish between the truthful and the liar, between the one who sincerely carries the banner of religion and the one who exploits it as a means to achieve worldly gains. We must be aware, firm upon the truth, and not allow anger or partisanship to extinguish the light of understanding and wisdom in our hearts. For Allah, glorified and exalted, tests us through these events to strengthen our faith and makes our hearts firm upon the straight path. Where do we stand in all this? Perhaps we don't have the power to stop wars, nor can we change the decisions of leaders, but We have something greater. We have ourselves, our hearts, our intentions, our direction. In times of trials, preoccupation with factionalism, exaggeration in analysis, and inflaming anger may steal from us the greatest weapon, returning to Allah. So ask yourself, has this conflict brought me closer to the Quran? Have these events reminded me of a prayer, seeking forgiveness and praying with humility? Indeed, there is a great trial on earth, which is in reality a test for hearts, to show who is truthful from the pretender and who is steadfast from the fickle. Therefore, we end with the prayer of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that we need more than ever. Oh Allah, keep us safe in times of trials and makes our heart firm on your religion. And if this message touched your heart, share it with others. And don't forget to leave your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the channel to receive all upcoming episodes. So, what is your stance in times of trials? Stay safe and in Allah's protection.